President Trump's newest lawyer, Rudy Giulani, says it is possible the president could plead the fifth in Robert Mueller's Russia investigation.
President Trump has previously said he would love to sit down with Mueller's team as long as he's treated fairly.
When I'm facing a situation with the president and all the other lawyers are, in which every lawyer in America thinks he'd be a fool to testify, I've got a client who wants to testify. Please don't. He said it yesterday. And, you know, Jay and I said to ourselves, my goodness, I hope we get a chance to tell him the risks that he's taking.
My goodness, what is happening here? For more on this, Wendy Patrick is joining us once again for today's Inside the Law.
Here's my question.
Oh, man.
What?
He just said he'd be a fool to testify, potentially a client who does this, and he hopes he listens. President Trump, and previously businessman Trump, has a reputation for not listening to the advice of counsel.
Well, that's right. And I think the preliminary question, which probably prompted the what, is that what Rudy Giuliani's role is here? We remember Rudy Giuliani as America's mayor after 2001. He was Time Magazine's Person of the Year. He received an honorary knighthood from the Queen of England. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, now he's the president's personal attorney. But what has he shown in the last week? He does not play one on TV. That does not appear to be the role he is taking on the scene, on the camera. So that is one of the questions that people have is he really representing the president as his counsel or as a surrogate spokesperson? Which is more likely.
Because I was going to ask, is he kind of working the media because he's saying some things seemingly to get people riled up and say, what? But is there a plan behind all of this that we're not seeing?
Well, that's
like
the question.
Strategy.
That's the question, Raul, because the decision as to whether or not the president sits down with Robert Mueller is not a prediction to be made on national television. It's a very serious decision that needs to be made behind the scenes with a group of lawyers. It's not the type of thing that Rudy Giuliani should be speculating about. Now, to his credit, he's attempted to walk back much of what he originally said, but one wonders whether that actually has been accomplished in the last couple of days.
Let's talk a little bit about the relationship between President and Giuliani. Where did that come about? And do you think this relationship is going to help President Trump?
Well, the two men have been friends for some time, and we've seen evidence of that all over the news over the last couple of weeks. The purpose for which retaining the services of Rudy Giuliani as a lawyer, as opposed to a friend or a spokesperson, presumably was to wrap up the Mueller investigation. Now, that has not yet been accomplished. Remember what Rudy said during his first appearance on Hannity last week? Or actually, let's even go farther back than that. When he was originally retained 2 weeks ago, he said, I intend to have this wrapped up in a week or two, quote unquote. Now, that deadline's obviously passed, but that is still supposedly what he's trying to do, is to bring the Mueller investigation to a conclusion. Now, he can certainly work with Mueller on doing that, but that has to be done in an orderly fashion. And like I said, very serious considerations are going to be made as to whether the president can voluntarily sit down. We should probably be talking more about that than to speculate whether or not he's going to take the fifth.
Rudy Giuliani's a smart guy, so the words that are coming out of his mouth, I believe, are very carefully crafted in his mind and carefully chosen. About the president perhaps taking the Fifth Amendment if he talks to Robert Mueller. What does that mean?
Well, here's the problem, Raul. In a court of law, we have evidentiary rules and objections and procedure. We don't have any of that in the court of public opinion. Anything goes. It's a free-for-all. So he's being asked these hardball questions, even in presumably softball interviews, and he's speaking off the cuff. What he's probably thinking right about now, at least I hope he is how to dial it back and decide how to answer some of these questions based on the law and also on the facts. Like the president said, he's still learning the facts. Rudy Giuliani yesterday said that himself. He's got to take a little bit of a pause, regroup, get prepared, and then maybe go on and give some more interviews.
So would you say all of these appearances that Giuliani is making is hurting the president, or is it helping him?
I don't know whether it's moving the needle one way or another, which I guess is a good thing. And probably, I mean, we had it's late night fodder for a lot of the footage you showed over the weekend. But is it really helping the president's case? Not yet, unless, as you asked, Raul, is there a strategy we don't see yet?
Can you explain before we let you go, executive privilege, does that play a role whether or not the president doesn't have to testify with Mueller, so why would you allow him or put him in front of Robert Mueller to just take the fifth?
Well,
what would be the strategy?
Boy, let's do a whole nother segment on that.
Because
there is a
that's
debate.
What boggles my mind.
Right. There is a debate in the legal community as to, well, first of all, can he be subpoenaed? Probably so. Does he have to testify? Probably. But remember, the precedent that's being relied on both sides of the aisle isn't exactly on point. You know, you talk about Nixon, but that was tapes being subpoenaed.
Right.
You talk about President Clinton, but then he decided to voluntarily sit down. So there's no established precedent that's exactly like the situation the president is in. So hopefully you'll have me back and we can do a whole segment on that, because it's an interesting analysis to get to the bottom of that question.
Wait, you are loving this as a llawyer, huh?
I know.
Woo. Wendy Patrick.
Need some more time.
I tell you
Right.
what, thank you so much again,
Thank you.
Wendy. Thanks.